Well, good morning. Welcome to ATI Pro Media live at 9 o'clock. We're talking grain and livestock markets every day, live at 9, bringing you the headlines here. Hope you had a fantastic weekend here. We got a short trade week this week, 4 trading days. Then we got Good Friday, and we're going to celebrate the resurrection of Christ. Happy Easter to y'all coming up this weekend. But markets, similar headlines here over the weekend, but we got a couple fresh ones. We'll roll through those here in a bit, but first, let's head on over and update you on where your markets are at overnight. Looking at May corn, May corn's down 2 3/4 cents, 487.5. New crop corn up 3/4 cent, 464.25. May beans up 2 cents at 10.44.5. Nove new crop beans up 5 3/4 at 10.31.25. Soy oil is down 60 points at 47.20. Soy meal's down $1.10 at 304.80. Chicago wheat May wheat is down 5.5 at 5.50. KC wheat down 10 cents on some contracts, 558.5 on your May contract, new crop at 573 on the July. Looking over, your meats are firmer, up $1.80 on, $1.30 on May, and your deferred contracts are $1.30 as well in that 280, 83 area on your feeder cattle. Live cattle are up 50 to 70 points. The June is up 70 points at 197.50. Looking over at hog market, your hog market is pretty firm on the back end. Looking at June hogs, were $1.25 firmer, 94.57. July up $1.27 at 94.87. Crude's up relatively flat, but up 8 cents, 61.58. Diesel's up 2 cents at 2.08. Nat gas is 3.5 cents firmer at 3.56. The Dow is 392 stronger, 40,783. The S&P 72 points firmer, 5,465. And the NASDAQ gaining 278 here, up at 19,090 points. The Russell's up. Bitcoin's up 500 points at 84,000. Gold's a little weaker. Silver's firmer. And the dollar under some pressure again here. 3-year lows Friday. And here again today, testing those, bouncing all over the place. So big headline over the weekend Friday was, the Trump exempted many tech products from reciprocal tariffs temporarily. So that's got the stock market bouncing back. We had some equity stuff as well. Goldman Sachs reported really good earnings in the first quarter off of increased trading revenue as well. But the tariff exemption on tech products is leading to your tech markets kind of rallying and bouncing back here. Optimism there. With cell phones, electronic products, chips being exempt, at least temporarily, for a while from the big 125% tariff on China, or wherever we're at with China. It's hard to keep track. Are we at 300? When will we be at 300% tariffs on China? It just seems to continue going higher and higher here. So one interesting fact about Chinese tariffs, though, March Chinese exports rose 12% year over year. So some front loading of U.S. importers buying Chinese products ahead of these tariffs and exemptions. But March exports from Chinese exports were actually 12.5% higher versus a year ago. So interesting tidbit out there. All right, so this afternoon or later here this morning, we are going to get weekly export inspections out. The trade will be watching to see the pace of shipments going out on your grain markets. We'll also later after the close, we will get crop progress. We're in that type of entering that season where we're going to be checking on the crop, planting pace, conditions, wheat conditions. Yet we don't have bean and corn conditions, but we will have winter wheat conditions. Last week, they were 48% good to excellent. So we'll see if there's any adjustments or changes on that front. Last week, corn was 2% planted. We'll see what they print here Monday. Looks like the planting window is fairly open this week for much of the Corn Belt and much of the U.S. But the weekend and next week looks a little dicey for getting crop in. Looks like we're entering a more active pattern on your weather front as we wrap up April and May. Got a graphic I'm going to throw in and talk about that. But are we going to pivot from too dry to too wet? I don't know. We're entering silly season, and those weather headlines can change in an instant. Here's a graphic that shows your 6 to 10 day precip outlook, above average, above normal precip for much of the U.S., even in the 8 to 14 day. And then looking out at that 3 to 4 week precip outlook, just looks like the Gulf opens up and we can have some moisture rolling into the plains and catching a lot of that western corn belt. Hopefully, we'll see some moisture there too. It will be welcome, as much of that area on those maps needs some precip to alleviate some drought concerns. But will it cause some planting delays as you enter into the heart of the corn belt? We'll see how it all plays out. We'll see what type of progress we make this week. But I imagine there's going to be a lot of planners rolling, trying to get ahead of that pattern as we get into the weekend and into next week. But weather patterns change on a dime, so don't put too many eggs in that basket. And we'll see what happens after it happens. So hindsight weather marketing, hindsight marketing, and hindsight weather analysis. Those are two things you can count on all the time. But looking at your managed money positions, we had some updates on the COT on Friday, and keep in mind those are as of Tuesday the 8th. So a little bit behind there, but always behind. I still wish we had daily updates on your managed money positions. But corn, 54,000 net long. They sold 3,000 on the net long managed money corn positions. Most people are estimating corn managed money is about 90,000 long corn currently. Beans are 50,000 net short. They sold 21,000 funds, sold 21,000 bean contracts in that week period. So adding to that short, funds are still really short wheat, 102,000 on your spring wheat and 49,000 on your hard red winter wheat. We can see, sometimes we can see a seasonal rally this time of year on wheat with frost concerns, or you enter some drought weather production. It's a key time frame for U.S. crops that we are entering in, and hopefully we can get past some of the tariff talk and focus on actual production going forward. But will the weather pattern, will it relieve some of those production problems? If you get the crop in, you get some timely rains out there, maybe that seasonal rally doesn't have to happen. So one thing I want to throw out here, I'm going to throw up two graphics on managed money that I got for you. This is the corn position, looking at their net short. They've sold off, or their current position. They have sold off from a sizable long position, 364,000 net long, sold off. They can go either way from here, guys. Okay, we can add to that short, and we can see a nice, or add to that and get some length in this market, or we could see funds go short and test those record short they posted last July, where they were 350,000 net short in July of a year ago. So we'll see where they go from here. But one thing we need to really point out: look at this bean oil. Managed money covering their short position on the bean oil and adding some length there on that bean oil chart. So big move over the last couple of weeks in your bean oil market. Take a sip of coffee here, catch my breath. When you look over at the meat markets, feeder cattle, 28,000 net long funds are. They sold 5,000. Live cattle, they're 118,000 net long. They sold 24,000. And then on the hogs, they're 26,000 net long. They sold 19,000. So the meats, they were definitely sellers of the meats going into that time frame. We'll see how things shake out here going forward. On your cattle market, cash traded $4 lower in the South last week at 204. We've got a cattle on feed report Thursday. We will give you some updates and a pre-report breakdown of what to expect going into that. Keep in mind, it is Thursday, not Friday. Markets are there will be no overnight grain trade on Thursday. Markets will be closed on Friday, and we'll have an open Sunday night on your grain markets, Sunday evening, Easter Sunday there. So we'll see what the rest of the week brings here for you as we wrap up the show here. If there's any comments, drop them out there. What's on your mind? Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to our channel. Your corn market's down a penny right now on the front and up a penny on the back. Beans are 4 cents firmer. We got wheat trying to bounce off some lows, but KC wheat 10 cents lower, maybe because of that precip in the forecast there, dragging on wheat a little bit. But appreciate y'all joining me. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can get Tony Tuesdays back on here to share some insights with you guys again tomorrow. We'll see. So, all right. With that, I'm going to click the button and get out of here. You guys have a fantastic day and a fantastic rest of the week. We'll see you back here tomorrow, live at 9.